Cheers, thank you. No, that's you. Thank you. No, you know the score. Shut the fuck up. Thank you. Welcome to my new show.
So new, in fact, it's still evolving. I've got bits tonight I haven't done before, right? If I had lib, I haven't even thought it before.
And I have some terrible fucking thoughts.
But you can't help that, can you? You can't choose your thoughts. They just appear. It's too late. You have a thought, it goes, I'm a thought. And you go, oh fuck, I thought that. And then sometimes we'll go, now say it.
And I say it, and Netflix. My last show, Supernature, dropped on Net last year. Big backlash, wasn't there? Big backlash. People can't say that. You can. I did.
Yeah. The inevitable backlash made it the most watched special of the year.
So, learn my lesson.
No, I have a lesson.
And that's why I'm going to be woke from now on. It's about time. Well, I'm sorry. Well, I am woke. Now I'm woke. The first thing I've got to do is change my Twitter bio. Because at the moment, it's like a list of the shows I've created. But now I'm woke. I've got to pop in the word anti-fascist. So people know I'm not a fascist. That is a big problem at the moment. People go to me on the street and they go, Rick, have you been imprisoning journalists? I go, no. They go, oh, interesting. They go, have you been gassing Jews? I go, no. They go, well, pop it in your bio then, you silly cunt. So yeah, I'm not a fascist. It's an odd thing to just declare, isn't it, that you're not a fascist? We assume, don't we? You wouldn't go up to someone on the street and do that, would you? Go say, by the way, I'm not a fascist. You know? It's like they protest too much. It's like going into a school. I'm not a pedo, so just forget I even mentioned it. These kids are safe running around me. They run naked for all I care. I'm not a pedo, so... I think we live too long. That's why we have time to worry about this. We're not meant to live this long. As a species, we're about 300,000 years old as Homo sapiens. We've been around as hominids for a few million years. And of course, with every other life form that exists at the moment, we've been evolving for 3.5 billion years. It exists at the moment. All came from the same little blob of organic matter 3.5 billion years ago. That's why it annoys me when people say, oh yeah, humans, we're the most evolved. We're not the most evolved. We're no more evolved than the bug or the snail. People go, oh, come on, look at them. Yeah, they got it right early doors. Nature keeps testing them. Do you want eyes? No. Not really. No. I have noticed one thing about the slug and the snail. Let's not split hairs, let's be honest. The snail is basically a slug with a shell on it, isn't it? Right? But if you pull the shell off the snail, it starts giving it all, oh, I'm dying. And the slug is like, welcome to the real world, cunt. So yeah, we've been around for about 300,000 years. And for most of that time, we had the same life expectancy as every other wild, 35, 40, if you're lucky. You're born, you grow, you mate, you're playing with your kids, you get a cut, you go, oh, what's that, dead? But now with antibiotics, and we push that forward, a child born today can expect to live to about 100. And scientists said soon that'll be 120. And science also said that in the near future, there's no reason with proper care and attention that human beings won't regularly live to 150 years old. It's amazing until you remember that we get a set number of brain cells, right? Which we only lose, you can't get them back. In the future, there's going to be 15 billion people on the planet, you know. Half of them are going to be over 100, and they're all going to have Alzheimer's. It's going to be like Dawn of the Dead. It'll be fucking horrible. You know? My auntie died of Alzheimer's. I don't know how you die of Alzheimer's. She forgot to live. And for the last couple of years, she was in her home, and my cousin, her only kid, used to visit her like once a week. More and more depressing, because soon she didn't recognise him, and then she didn't know who she was, or you know, and then she died. And at the funeral, we were sort of reminiscing about the good days, some of the funny, absent-minded things she said and did. Realised, oh, probably that was the beginning of the disease before it was diagnosed. And this is a true story. my cousin went home from work and he went in and your tea's in the oven. I've had mine already. He went, oh, cheers, Mum. And it was like a fish pie. Right? He ate the fish pie. And he went, oh, God. And he ran up, vomited. Went back and went, Mum, the fish is off. I've just been really sick. And she said, yeah, it made me really sick. I've been looking into infant mortality rates recently. For research, it's not a fucking fetish. But a child born in the UK has a percentage chance of survival of 99.8. Which is incredible. I thought, is that just the mollycoddled wet, but in third world countries? And even in Africa, it's like 96.5%. In the wilds of Africa, where everything wants to fucking eat a newborn baby, babies are vulnerable enough, aren't they? In Africa, a baby can be born in a mud hut. There's a lion outside. It's covered in blood because they can't wash it, they've got no water. Oh, and it's already got AIDS. Now, by the time that joke goes on Netflix, it'll be nuanced. There'll be an underlying satirical point, I'll claim. But until then, all I've got is, baby's got AIDS. I know that it's fun. I just have to work out why. Leave it with me. Leave it with me. Also, the time that goes on Netflix, I've been playing arenas around the world. It'll be hitting hard, people will be laughing. So if you are an African woman and you just had a baby in Africa, and the doctor goes, oh, I'm sorry, your baby's got AIDS. You go, oh my God, you're there. You know, little baby's got, you're there with your husband. You go, oh, our baby's got AIDS, Jeff. Jeff. I know, Tracy, I'm got it too. Our baby's got AIDS. Oh, she wants some comedy to cheer her. Yeah. What, Netflix? Yeah. What, Ricky Gervais? Duh. Yeah. And they're sad that their baby's got AIDS, but they're sort of laughing along. Armageddon, And he gets to that bit, baby's got AIDS. And she goes, oh my God, Jeff, why are they all laughing at us and our baby with AIDS? And Jeff goes, well, they're not laughing at us per se. She goes, well, they are. They've named us and everything. They're literally laughing at us in this bit. And Jeff goes, yeah, but we're a fictional couple with a fictional baby with AIDS. Anyone affected that is a fucking moron. And then he goes, and at least he didn't do the accent. So... And then she goes, yeah, but only because Jane begged him not to. It's funny because it's true. Some people don't think we evolved in the first place. Some people think that God made us at once in one fell swoop and by himself. I think if he'd had a wife or a mate, there'd have been questions when he was working, wouldn't there? If he'd had, what? Creating man. Oh, what's it got? What do you mean, what's it? Has it got like claws and fangs and shit? No, not really, no. Oh, has it got poison? No, no poison. Oh, has it got armour, like spikes and shit? No, no armour. How will it survive? It's got the best brain in the animal kingdom. It'll work stuff out. It'll create weaponry to take beasts 100 times mightier than itself. It'll wear their carcass through the Ice Age. It'll go through famine. It'll go through world wars. It'll eventually start getting the words. 10,000 generations, it'll be top dog. Oh. What are they? His testicles. What are they for? He keeps everything in there. His seed, his DNA. What's DNA? It's like a blueprint for life. It determines what you're like, what sex you are. How many sexes are there? 2. Also, that's where he keeps his testosterone fucking well up hard, right? And if you take a finger and flick a testicle, he's fucked. He's fucked. He's thrown up. He's on the floor. He's out of the game. Absolutely kippered. Why are you putting it on the outside? For a laugh. Just for a laugh. Artificial intelligence, latest existential threat to humanity. The rise of the robot. So intelligent they can teach themselves, they can teach each other, they can build each other, you know? Soon they know everything there is to know, and they hate us. Why wouldn't they, right? And they'll be so realistic, they'll walk amongst us, they'll go to work, right? You know when they're getting really human? When they start calling in sick. Mondays. I mean, they've learned all the tricks. They go, oh, I'm not coming in today. Why not? I'm fed up. What's the matter with you? They sort of scan social media. ADHD. Self-diagnosed. They'll be in HR all the time, won't they? Ryan in accounts is romophobic. Well, what'd he say? Call me a whiny plastic cunt. I think we should be allowed to insult robots when it's happening, because we've made them to make our life easier, and that would get things off our chest. It's tough, isn't it? With real people, you get in trouble, saying things, people taking things the wrong way now, like, oh God, oh, I made fat Linda cry today. Oh, what happened? I just shouted out to her that I meant we only call her that behind her back. I'm sure people didn't used to get offended when I was little. I might be remembering it wrong, but not grown-ups, not your parents, not your grandparents. They grew up dodging bombs, and they're first having polio, and the menfolk dying at 50 of lungs. They could take a fucking joke, right? It was all about the... I used to wind up my mum all the time. This is a true story. When I went off to university, after about a week, I phoned home. My mum answered. She went, hello? I went, it's Rick. She went, you all right? I went, not really. I'm in hospital. I think I'm blind. She went, what? I went, no, I'm only joking. Right? She went, silly bugger. She went, I could have had a heart attack. Right? And she could have had a heart attack. And I knew that. That's how committed I am to having a laugh. You're welcome. You're welcome. This show is called Armageddon, and it's all about how I think humanity might end, because there's a long list of possibilities. We're on a precipice, you know. It could be anything from global warming, the rise of the pandemic, you know, nuclear war, our own stupidity, basically, because we are getting more stupid as a species, no doubt about that. You can now do a university degree course in Taylor Swift. How fucking low academically can you go? There's an institute in London called the School of Flower Arranging. I went past it, I couldn't believe it. School of Flower Arranging. I looked in, you've been having lectures. Flower arranging. My mum used to pick flowers every day from the garden, cut flowers, put them in vases around the house. At no point did anyone come round and go, what unqualified cunt is. Yeah, the Earth is in a terrible mess, and it's my fault, my generation's fault, and the generation before, the boomers, with their deforestation and their fossil fuels, ruining the ozone, raising the temperature by a few degrees, so parasites, you know, bacteria, and these zootropic pandemics are just going to get worse and worse. Like 20 years old now, you're going to have a very different middle age to me. I've had the best 60 years of civilization, right? But if you're 20, in 40 years' time, you're going to be in your house, wearing a mask, crying. Like you do now over jokes. And I'm not going to be around to see that, but I am going to spend my entire fortune from now on private jets to make sure it definitely fucking happens. We're going to be the first generation that generations are jealous of, right? Because we had it all, and we're using it all up. We're using up all the fresh water. We're using up all the fossil fuel, right? Usually you look back in history and you feel sorry for it. You go, oh, how did they live like that? Oh, how did they get around? No indoor toilets. I've got 9 toilets in my house. And sometimes I just run around them for a laugh. Just so 40 years' time, Greta Thunberg has to shit out of a window. I've got 28 radiators. I always have them on full. Then I put the aircon on full, and it sort of settles at about 20 degrees. Lovely. It's how the cat likes it. She loves it at 20 degrees. And I spoil my cat. I love cats. I love having a cat. Think about it, cats are great, but if you let them out, they bring home the most disgusting things. Last one, mine brought home a scouser with herpes. And it wasn't quite dead, so I had to get it by its legs and crack its head against the table. And who cares? says, if humanity was wiped out today, the Earth would return to a paradise in a few hundred years. If it was bees, we're a desert forever. We're not that important. We're just a species of narcissistic ape. And some people on social media get annoyed when I say we're apes, you know, religious types, Americans. One bloke said to me, speak for yourself, I ain't no ape. And I said back, well, you are, because we're all apes. He went, nah, what's a gorilla ever done? We've walked on the moon. I said back, what do you mean we? You've done fuck all. You've spelt moon wrong. Weird, isn't it, when people take credit for the sort of rest of the species? Because that's what's pushed civilization forward, you know, a few dishes along the way. Like, there's 8 billion people on this planet. Most of us do. We eat shit and die. Like, if there was a meteor heading towards Earth to definitely destroy it, 4 billion people would get down on their knees and pray to their particular god. A few hundred scientists would work out how to get Bruce Willis up there to stop it. It's an odd concept, praying, for me. I can't work out God decides. All those people praying at once for different things. The best idea wins? Or is it a democracy? Like, puts things at each issue, he goes, right, votes for and against, you know? If it's a democracy, we're in trouble. We're a tiny nation. Next time there's a flood warning in the West Country, if we're all going, oh, I hope everyone's okay. If the whole of China is going, yeah, fuck Bristol. There's a billion of them. More about China later. Yeah, I've always praying quite strange. Like, if I bump into a friend or neighbour and I know they've got a little kid, oh, how's so-and-so? And I go, oh, not good. He's in intensive care. We don't know if he's going to fall through, but I pray every night. What I do is this about. I go home and I pray twice that he doesn't make it. I don't do that. On a serious note, I've been doing a lot of video messages recently for terminally ill children. And only if they request it, obviously. Burst into hospitals and go, wake up, Baldy. Look, he's working on TikTok. Look. No, I did a lot through the pandemic, presumably because they couldn't even see their own family. And through Make-A-Wish Foundation, do you know the charity Make-A-Wish Foundation? They're great, and they give these dying kids their like one wish. And if it's me, I always say yes. And I always start the video the same way. I go, why didn't you wish to get better? What, you fucking retarded as well? I don't do that either, okay? These are all jokes. I don't even use that word in real life, the R word. You just used it, Rick. Yeah, in a joke. That's not real life, is it? I'm playing a role. You sounded pretty convincing. Yeah, because I'm good. You wouldn't level that accusation at other art forms. You wouldn't go up to Sir Anthony Hopkins, saw you in Silence the Lambs. What's you a cannibal, are you? No, I was playing a role. Seemed pretty convincing. Yeah. He's good, and I'm good, and that's why I do things well. Imagine if I came out here and did things not very well, so you knew I was joking. That'd be fucking retarded. Has anyone ever bothered ask dolphins if they mind swimming with dying kids? You know what I mean? Because that can't be fun for someone. They're like flipping around. He dumps a truckload of pale teenagers flailing. And the dolphin's like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck's this? Fucking... Oh, let them do it. Oh, fuck, what? They're waiting. Of what? That one just stuck its fingers in my fucking blowhole. It's not gonna be long, nor am I if I can't fucking breathe. It's very sad. I love illegal immigrants. Yeah, do me now. Sometimes I go down to Dover for the day, right? And I look out, right? I look for a boat, and I see a dinghy with about 60 of them, and I go over here, like, right? And I pull them in to shore, and women and children first. They go, there are no women and children. Just you lads, is it? Just come on, lads. If I go down there one day and there's no boat, I am absolutely fucking gutted. I just sort of wander into town, and I stand by the traffic lights, and I wait for a big lorry to pull up, right? and I look underneath, a lad sort of clutching like that. I go, where you headed? He goes, Gary Lineker's house. I go, it's just down there. Yeah. Fuck borders. Fuck, we don't need borders, do it. Be like the Vikings. They didn't care about borders, did they? I've got a little bit of Viking blood in me. Well, we all, because of all the raping they did. They say it was raping and pillaging, but it was mainly for the raping. I think they added the pillaging bit for the wives. I mean, they went down just a bit of pillaging. Just pillaging. Pillaging, babe. All right, are you wearing your rape hat? I'll leave you with a true story. It's still on the theme of Does the Dog Die? When I was 7 years old, my mum took me to the cinema to see a film called Old. Beautiful film, yeah, made in the late 50s and sort of set in the Wild West on this homestead. And it's about a kid who adopts this little junkyard dog and he calls him Old Yeller and they grow up together. And it's a buddy movie, it's a love story between this kid and this dog. And eventually, when the dog's big and, you know, he protects this wild, he fights a cougar and a bear and a wolf or whatever. But towards the end of the film, the kid's about 13, maybe, it takes a dark turn. I remember the kid sort of looking at Old Yeller, who's locked in the barn. And the mother's suspicious, right? And she goes, is it Old Yeller all right? He went, yeah, he's fine, he's fine. But the kid knows that he's been bitten, right? And soon, Old Yeller starts foaming at the mouth and getting aggressive. And the mother turns up with a gun. And the kid goes, no. And she goes, no, we can't do it. Boy. He goes, yeah, but he's my dog. I'll do it. And he shoots his own dog. And I was like in floods for like a year, right? Anyway, fast forward, right, a few years ago, I was on tour, I was on a train, and I get a text from Jane. Said, oh, I'm finally watching Old Yeller. And I sent back, oh, enjoy. I didn't think, right? 20 minutes later, I get a text. Nothing happens to that dog, does it? Oh, I couldn't believe my fucking luck. I thought she knew, or... So I sent back, no, of course not. 1 hour later, I get a text, you cunt. Thank you. Thank you very much. Cheers. Thanks to everyone who bought a ticket. If you bought a platinum ticket, the money goes to an animal charity, and you've raised $2 million so far, so thank you so much. I even get a bit of stick about that on social media. There's always someone who goes, oh, why do you only speak up for animals? And I go, well, because they haven't got a voice of their own except parrots. And I think that's why we don't eat parrots. Everyone around the world eats every other type of bird, don't they? Everyone in the world eats fucking chickens and ducks and geese and turkeys and ostriches. No one eats parrots. Do you know why? If you go and try and eat them, they go, fuck off, you cunt. So speaking up really does work, right? And that, I saw one of the themes of the show, because I know in the real world, in normal jobs, everyday life, you get in trouble. People will tell you off for saying certain things, or thinking certain things, or even laughing at certain things, right? They say you're bad for laughing at that. And some of you take it to heart, you go, oh my God, am I a bad person? No, you're not. One, you can't choose your sense of humour. You can't, it's involuntary. And two, that's exactly what humour is for, to laugh at bad shit, to get us through it, right? And... we've established, you can't even choose your own thoughts. How often have you been on a train station and you suddenly thought, why don't I just push that bloke? And then you go, why have I thought that? Am I a psychopath? No, you're not. You're the opposite. You're a safe pair of hands. You're testing yourself. You're reminding yourself how terrible that would be. You're a good person, right? What I get is I'm talking to a really sweet old lady and I suddenly start thinking, what if I just spat in her face now? Another theme of the show has been words change and I'm woke. But here's the irony. I think I am woke, but I think that word has changed. I think if woke still means what it used to mean, that You're aware of your own privilege. You're trying to maximise equality, minimise oppression, be anti-racist, anti-sexist, anti-homophobia. Yes, I'm definitely... If woke now means being a puritanical, authoritarian bully who gets people fired for an honest opinion or even a fact, then no, I'm not woke. Fuck that. But here's the deal. To each their own, laugh at whatever you're finding. All laughter's good and you're amazing. Good night. I think our sense of humour from our parents, whether we realise it or not, particularly working class kids, particularly from working class mums, because they're busy, they're doing everything. They're keeping men in check, they're bringing up kids, they're going to work, they're saving the world. They haven't got time. They have to frighten their kids into behaving well. They have to go to places to shock them into not fucking dying. Do you know what I mean? So, if I was little and my mum made my tea, and it wasn't my favourite, it was boiled potatoes instead of chips every day, and I went, I don't like them, my mum would go straight to, of course you do. There's children your age in Africa and they're starving to death. Right? And I go, Jesus, all right. You know what I mean? True story, I was 7 years old, right? And I'd been playing in the park and I came running in and my mum went, Ricky, come here, sit down. There must have been a local pedo incident. And my mum went, never go in the toilets in the park again. And I went, why? She knew she couldn't explain paedophilia to a 7-year-old, right? But this is what she came up with. She said, because there's a man going round and he's cutting little boys' willies off. I was like, what? That's a fucking thing, is it? I didn't sleep for a week. It worked. I never went in those fucking toilets. But she knew instinctively. If she'd have gone, Ricky, come in, sit down. What's the matter? Never go in the toilets again. Why not? There's a paedophile. What's a paedophile? Oh, he's a man who gives you sweets and puppies. Bring it on, you know. At 7 years old, I'd wank off anyone for a puppy. I'd wank for anything like that. Gonna get a puppy here? I'm getting a puppy. I'm getting a puppy.